candlelight vigil bringing together the Red Lion community after a series of incidents, the most recent being the shooting of a young boy.
It's gonna suck. It's gonna suck today, tomorrow, next week, next month, next year.
Right now, neighbors in the Red Lion community are on edge with more questions than answers. The vigil offering them a chance to be at peace after a young boy was gunned down while running down the street.
So when we do things like this and we all come together to show that we're one united front, it takes one brick for the bridge to start that foundation.
Neighbors identify him as 12-year-old Kain. Many neighbors also refusing to speak about the incident and multiple stories as to what really happened last night.
Obviously my first concern was it a suicide? And then as we started learning other instances, then I was, what about the other kids that were there? What about the families? How's this going to impact the community? And we need to do something.
Pictures showing an active scene in the 10th block of 1st Avenue in Red Lion. Police arriving to the scene a little before 9 p.m. Saturday night. They say they found the young boy dead due to an apparent gunshot wound.
Friends that, witnessed the incident that happened yesterday, the people involved, it can impact them on a number of different levels. Those situations can spiral into other situations, and that's what we want to try to prevent.
Now, the police say that there is no danger to the public, and they will continue investigating. In Red Lion, Heiland Jacobs, CBS 21 News.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Crime Journal. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Now let's get into the case. On April 1st, 2023, at 10:30 p.m., troopers from the Pennsylvania State Police were dispatched to the 10 block of 1st Avenue in Red Lion Borough, York County, for a shooting. When first responders arrived on scene, they found Kain Heiland, a 12-year-old male, deceased from a single gunshot wound. The Criminal Investigation Unit from PCP York responded to conduct the investigation. The Troop J Major Case Team was activated to assist in the investigation. From initial witness interviews and evidence, 13-year-old Nolan Grove was identified as a suspect in the shooting death of Heiland. Nolan, Kain, and another boy spent April 1st wandering around town in and out of the homes of Grove and the third boy. Nolan eventually grabbed a .380 caliber handgun with a laser from his house, where he lived with his father. According to the affidavit, Nolan kept loading and unloading the weapon and told his friends he wanted to shoot it. The 13-year-old loaded and unloaded a handgun and talked about wanting to shoot it for hours before he pointed it at his 12-year-old friend and pulled the trigger during a sleepover in Red Lion. Before Kain Heiland left for the sleepover, his stepdad told him to stick up for his mom if his friends made any inappropriate comments about her, as they had recently. Kain's family says he stood up to bullies and loved his mom dearly, so he took his requests to the heart. Multiple witnesses later told state police that they knew where the guns were kept in Nolan's house, and knew that Nolan could access the weapons. State police said they obtained surveillance footage that showed Nolan pointing the gun at Kain's chest around 6:09 p.m. on April 1st while they were at their other friend's house. "Take your finger off the trigger," Kain said. "This is not fair. I'm the only one without a gun." Police said the third boy was carrying a BB gun. More than an hour later, the boys confronted two girls outside Nolan's house who were playing with a scooter they believed belonged to the third boy. One of the girls said Nolan told them he wasn't afraid to shoot anybody, and he would if he could. Court documents said another child was on FaceTime with the boys around 7:52 p.m. when Nolan pointed the gun at Kain while Kain was laying on the ground shielding his face, less than an hour before Kain was shot. State police said they obtained a screen recording of the FaceTime in which Nolan was pointing the laser from the gun at Kain's chest. Court documents said Nolan was making jokes about Kain's mom throughout the day. At one point, Nolan sent messages to Kain's mom from Kain's phone, telling her he thought she was really hot. Nolan made another joke about Kain's mom while the boys were walking through Nolan's neighbor's yard around 8:22 p.m., the affidavit said. Kain told Nolan to be quiet. "You know what happens," Nolan said, as he pulls the gun from up under his sweatshirt and shot Kain, according to the affidavit. "I'm so sorry, Kay," Nolan said after Kain fell to the ground, according to one of the witnesses. When the third boy asked Nolan why he shot Kain, Nolan did not respond, the affidavit said. Nolan's mother said Nolan later told her the gun accidentally discharged while he was swinging his arms back and forth. She told state police Nolan was taught firearm safety and that a firearm should not be pointed at something unless your goal is to wound it. Kain was shot in the back at a downward angle, state police said. The county coroner's office pronounced him dead at the scene. State police said a single .380 caliber shell casing was found at the scene. After the shooting, Nolan and the third boy ran home but briefly returned to the shooting scene to retrieve the BB gun. The third boy's parents called 911 after he told them what happened, according to state police. Court documents said Nolan called his dad, who was not at home at the time of the shooting, and asked him to come home. According to the affidavit, Nolan changed his clothing and washed his hands before he and his dad went to the police department for an interview. He also messaged the other boy who saw the shooting and told him not to tell anyone what happened. Pennsylvania State Police later executed a search warrant of Grove's father's home, where they located a hidden compartment firearm case in the living room. There was a magnet located on another firearm safe in the living room, which could be used to open the compartment. Inside the case was a Kel-Tec .380 firearm, which police determined to be functional. The stamps on the ammunition matched the casing found at the scene of Heiland's shooting. After an extensive and thorough investigation, the York County District Attorney's Office was consulted, and it was ultimately decided to bring the case before the grand jury. On May 5, 2023, the grand jury delivered a presentment charging Nolan Grove as an adult with the following charges: murder of the third degree, involuntary manslaughter, firearms carried without a license, possession of a firearm by a minor, recklessly endangering another person. Grove was arrested, and a judge ordered that Grove be detained at a juvenile facility. A preliminary hearing is currently scheduled for June 27, 2023.